Your goals. I would love to be able to improve my in-game fighting, mid-game positioning, and confidence in fights. I'm currently Diamond. Would love to be able to push my limits to how far I can go. One of the things I want to see today, we're gonna focus on getting you a very definitive goal to work on, a very definitive thing you can do instead of just being, I want to improve. Like, we're gonna try and give you a specific thing to do in terms
The
of
definitive goal I feel like should be I want to go for masters, but I think there's a lot of factors and
masters. Are you in? You're solo queue, right?
I am. That's why I'd have to find a team. I'd have to find some people to play with.
Yes. If you're gonna solo queue to masters, you have to be basically like almost pred level. If you're gonna solo queue to diamond, you have to be like plat level. It's a lot easier to solo queue to diamond. It is probably the single most difficult wall you'll ever hit in this game is solo queuing to masters, just because of how the rank system works in general. It's very frustrating. It's very annoying. Basically, what we're gonna do is I'm going to go ahead and run, or we're gonna go ahead and go through your VOD. I'm gonna talk about the various things I see, things like that. And I'll kind of try and identify some like weaknesses you might have in your gameplay, especially solo queue. And I'll be looking at this through the perspective of mostly solo queue. Like, if your teammates are your teammates, I'm just gonna ignore that. The only thing you ever can and should focus on in your gameplay when you're solo queuing is yourself and how you play things, how you actually gain RP, because that's all that matters. Like, they are your teammates, but in Apex, they are very, very expendable to the means to the end. Your end is increasing this number. You're increasing that number or making it go down as least as possible. Like, if your teammate hot drops, whatever, and you drop with like 9 other squads, your goal is just to live. It doesn't matter if you're running away to the other side of the map to live. As long as you're trying to save your number, that's all that matters. But you also have to try and keep this balance in between actually fighting with your team, because you don't want to be like, oh, one of us got knocked and then you just leave. You know, like you don't want to do that. Obviously, you want to like stay with your team and fight like that. It's a really it's kind of like a delicate balance to strike. But playing safer in solo queue is typically really, really smart. You have to kind of play a mixture of everything. You have to be like IGL. You have to be like Fragger. You have to be like it's very difficult, but I really think that solo queue tests you as a player super well. You actually manage because you have to kind of learn everything. And in some games you'll get good randoms where some guys like, oh no, come this way, and you're like, oh my god. Not only do they have a mic, they're not stupid. Like, you know, it is very nice when that happens. But even when you do get a team, I'll still be talking about this through the lens of solo queue. Even if you get a duo queue, the game gets so much easier. I think duo queuing is one of the most fun ways to challenge yourself, and then obviously you're a duo. But solo queue is just like really challenging. It's mostly why. Did you ever watch like Timmy's like solo to masters?
Yes, I watched the abridged version. I watched like the hour-long version.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
I remember when that was live, and Diamond was literally just like this. He was cruising and cruising and cruising, and then he just hit this giant wall. And I guess the way the graph would work would be like he was cruising, and then it was just this for like 36 hours, just in Diamond for 36 hours. Like, it was actually crazy. And then Masters for like 15 or something like that, because people and he got so much help because he was getting stream snipe. People would give him free KP and then go run away and then die and go run away, respawn, and then come back, give him free KP. So he definitely had boost to this. Like, if if this isn't evident how much, like, the biggest thing with solo queues, you also have to just play a ton. If you like, the thing, like, ranked in Apex is so much less representative. Like, there's no other game where you can sit down and play, like, and just play and go up in rank without like any change in your skill. Like, if you go play like Valorant or Overwatch, if you just keep playing the game and don't get any better, your rank value is gonna stay the same. It might like, it's gonna do like this, but it's like gonna stay in the same like range. But in Apex, if you just play more without your skill going up, your rank's gonna eventually go like this. You know, you're gonna eventually climb and make steady progress and things like that. But this is also affected a lot by time, like multiplied by like skill. You know, and that like tells you how long how long you have to do it. So if you have a higher skill value, you need to put less time. But if you have a lower skill value, you need more time. You know, things like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And those are things I want to cover before we get into the ring session, because if I watch this VOD and I'm like, oh, you could just make masters right now, and you're like, well, why aren't I? I'm like, just go play more, like just go play more, things like that. But also, there'll definitely be things to talk about, like I already pre-skimmed this VOD.
I do not think I'm at a master's level. I think I'm a mid plat hot, like low diamond for myself at least.
Okay. Like your own mechanical skill and like decision making and all that jazz.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
where I put myself. Low diamond, high plat.
Okay.
So I'm able to consistently hit diamond each season.
Okay.
But I feel there's a hard skill gap between me and a masters player and me and a pred player. I'll get rolled.
So chat and YouTube, if this goes on YouTube, just as a reference, there's no audio in this except for his mic, I think, right?
Yeah, it's my fault.
So I'm not gonna lie, it's just kind of funny. It's just kind of funny. There's a clip where he's using the wingman, and all you hear is his mouse switch, and then he 3 taps the guy. And he's like, "I got him." And it's just really funny. Okay, so here's landing crash light. Looks like there's 2 other teams with you. Very good to look around. When you look around, try and get a more angular look, like spin around in a circle. Because teams can also late land, because teams can like land over here, and then you're like, "Oh my God, there's another team." There's a cat in my room throwing shit off my cabinet. Just it's a really small thing, but when you're looking around, try and get more angular. Like look everywhere around you, because teams can late drop on you super easy. It's a small thing, but it'll definitely save you some RP in the long run.
Okay.
But very good to look around. You want to try and establish where the other teams are going, especially because if you can be proactive against the teams, like if you land here and one team lands here and one team lands here, you can just push this team in the middle. Like, like take like a longer fight, then guess what? Other team pulls up. Oh my God, this team's dead. And then boom, you get maybe like 1 to 3 KP. Or if this team is just like, send it, you can get like 6 KP potential, including like participation. It's really good that when you're landing, try and deny loot and deny area from people. So typically what I do in solo queue, because in solo queue I typically play characters with like really good mobility. Horizon's a great example, because Horizon can just like land here, land in the center, contest the center, boom, you now have purple armor. The enemies don't. It's more important that the enemies don't have it, much less that you have it. As long as someone on your team gets it, it denies loot from them. So when you're landing here, or when you're landing in general, like anywhere, crash site especially, like this middle is really important. Just understand where loot is really, really good, so you can deny the loot from them. If you can land somewhere where the loot's really good and get out safely, because it's probably be like a high contested area, then that's like absolutely perfect. If you have to die, don't die for it ever. Is really important as well. Because if you die for it, you not only gave them loot, you also leveled up someone's white Evo shield probably to blue. You also gave them like KP. Your team's now down 1. You can't even do anything, things like that. I want to see you try. I want to see you try and land here. I don't know how well it's gonna go. I can't really see the teams right now, but if you don't land here, like definitely land over here. Definitely land on like the outside of where all the teams are gonna go. So you have the option to either pinch or the option to disengage.
Okay.
It's really important to just give yourself as many options as possible when you're landing, especially when you're jump masters. Like, just try and take the fucking jump master every time you play. I know it won't happen every time, obviously, but like it's really important to pick your character in the like loading screen, so you get jump master as many times as possible. You guys might land bottom too. I think bottom's probably one of the worst places to land, but it's a lot safer. So you're kind of trading like the advantage in loot you get for like comfortability. Wingman re.
Oh, we're split.
Not bad. Oh, okay. Your teammate landed over there, which is like fine.
Yeah, my team's a little split, and they're not really communicating the entire time.
But they're a duo. Wait, they're a duo. Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
I actually recently figured out that they can't queue together, so that was my cue that they were a duo.
Yeah, I mean, one's console, one's PC. You can't queue with a console player unless they're duoed with a PC player.
And they just were not giving any comms. They might have been on like a fucking party chat or something.
Yeah, they're probably in like an Xbox party chat or like a Discord chat or something together, and then just muted you instantly and started the game, which is unfortunate. It happens, but you can still give effective communication through pings. Have you ever like watched League at all?
Yes, League of Legends.
Yeah,
Maybe Toxic.
Yeah, definitely. But there's this concept in League of Legends that's really important. For example, there's a jungler. Obviously, they play like in between the lanes or anything like that. And they're responsible for basically like flanking and like ganking like all the different lanes and things like that. But there's this coach I watch called Nice, and literally watch. Yeah. I love Nice. He's a big inspiration. But if he's like, yo, if you're gonna go flank top lane, don't ping once, don't ping twice, ping 7 times that you're going there. Ping 7 times that you're going there, like, because if you only ping once, that's like you messed up on communication. Your teammate could have missed that ping, but also your teammates are dumb. Like your teammates are always just gonna be dumb. Just never assume that they're smart, and you
Okay.
you really should never assume that your teammates are smart. Try and treat them like little, like, I guess, cattle. You know, be like, come on, come on, come on, Bloodhound, follow me. Come on over here. No, Bloodhound, don't fight that. And then you ping like defending here, like 8 times. You know, and they'll be like, oh, you're defending there. I got it. You know, so
Heard that. Multiple things. I'm writing that one down.
yeah. If they're not responding to you verbally or through your verbal communication, it's really important. I mean, even when if they're not like communicating with you, like talking to you, but you're talking to them and they're not saying anything, you can also try and change up the way you talk as well. This is like a social thing, but it's still important to know. Like when I'm solo queuing with like a random, I'll be like, come on, Bloodhound over here, Bloodhound over here, like kind of like they're a dog. Which is a little fucked up to talk to a person like a dog, but like I gotta do what I gotta do to get you to come over here and hold this high ground with me, you know? Like, don't be afraid to try and do that. Like, either you're muted, or they listen to you, or you ping a million times and then they listen to you, you know? Gotta, like, yeah, like a cat, just. Okay.
I'm trying to get an idea of where the teams and the people are when I push down here and they start getting shot at.
Not only is your Bloodhound getting shot at, but your Newcastle's getting shot at. So you guys, like, this Newcastle's leaving. Your Bloodhound's leaving. This kind of pushes you guys in like an awkward position. When you guys are like being shot from like everywhere, especially because there's a team here, and then I don't think there's a team in the building. I think your Bloodhound was just getting shot from up here.
Okay.
Because if there's a team in the building, you would have gotten you would have gotten that thing that said like, oh, an enemy landed near me or some shit, you know. So it's typically important. If you're being shot from everywhere, just sit in a building and just go in a building and like hold it. Because if you hold the building well enough and this team pushes you, and you don't let them inside, you deny the area they're coming in. Like this other team's gonna be like, oh my god, they're fighting third party, and then you hold the building, and then you can like play like back here, you know, and then the teams are just like colliding into each other like a train wreck, and then you can turn around and third party them.
Okay.
It's really important to not just kind of like walk, because right here, I think you turn around. I think you go back to the building.
I do.
But this spot is very dangerous. It's just kind of dangerous to walk out here, you know, because there's not really a lot of cover you can play. You're not playing like Wraith, but even then, even if we're playing Wraith, your teammates don't really have like effective cover to do. I know you were kind of trying to cover for. Oh, your Bloodhound landed up there. Oh, that makes so much sense. Yeah. Typically in this situation, like you can't, like, the time to get to your Newcastle is really low. You kind of have to assume your Newcastle is either gonna win as one or leave. Which leaving's probably the smarter thing to do, but you literally just can't help him. You can't do anything to help him at this point. He's a lost cause. Forget about this guy.
Okay.
Your Bloodhound lands up here. The one thing I want to see you do right here is just go and walk to your Bloodhound to go help your teammate. You kind of have to help your teammates in situations when they're just doing something. Like, oh, our random's walking this way. You guys kind of got to go this way. Like, it's solo queue. It sucks to have to compromise basically every aspect of your gameplay because you're playing with, like, walking, like, AI, but, like, you kind of have to. But it's definitely not the worst thing because it can put you in really bad situations that you win, and that's a test of your like mechanical skill, game sense, things like that. You know, it definitely does test you. But here, I would just walk to your Bloodhound first. Help your closest teammate if they're being shot at, like, are in a fight. You know, I think your Bloodhound probably now your Bloodhound's running out in the open because you were running in the open, and then they're just kind of like in the middle here. Yeah, I'm glad to see you hold this head glitch here. It's nice. I definitely. Oh my god, they're getting shot from height too. Yeah, see, like, now they're in this awkward, like, bad position. I would definitely tell your teammates at this point to just come to me. Be like, hey, if you can get over here, come to me. They eventually do it, but a little slow. They didn't get punished for it, amazingly. But you guys come to the building. I forgot that I have ASMR session, which is, like, fine. It's not a big deal. It's just funny. I would definitely try and stay here and fight this for at least probably, like, 45 more seconds because it's zone. I don't know where zone's closing, but I definitely would have pressed M when the game started, just so I had, or like when the like zone like showed itself, so I could have an idea where it was going.
Okay.
It's really important to understand where the zone's going, so you can understand what fight, especially with the new zone. If you can understand where it's going, you can be like, oh, we're literally the edge of the map. We can't like really fight that much. Oh my god, I felt that.
It's on the third party.
I felt changing your crosshair. No, it's like fine. It's just visibility in this map's like kind of awful. Yeah, just be careful that when you're peeking. Okay, well, I see a guy right here, but when you're peeking, I would hug this wall a bit more. Just hug the wall a bit more. Because if this guy like hits you like with like a triple take headshot, because you know they have triple take. If he like 113s you, you have to strafe like a lot further to get back into cover. It's really easy for that guy to tap you. Yeah, and then now you like leave the cover entirely. You know, it's just it's just a little dangerous. You don't get punished for it obviously, but it's definitely a little dangerous. And then there's Wrangling
Proceed
and shooting at you.
With all those.
It's fine. Oh yeah, it's.
Never mind. Back up.
Good call to back up. Your teammates haven't healed yet from the fucking crossing earlier.
You don't want to be in the middle. It's interesting.
I would have saved that. Okay, well, there's a guy here. Never mind. I was gonna say I would have saved the swap, but then there was a guy there, so then it was fine. Yeah. I like that you're trying to hold for your teammates. You're trying to hold this area, you know, at least. And then look, main. Perfect. That's actually perfect. You're denying as much area as possible, so your team can't just get walked up on. You need your Newcastle to stabilize. Because if your Newcastle stabilizes, you now anchor at this point because you can res the Bloodhound and then start to reset. Start to get the good things going. You know, you guys can drop from here, but it's really important that you hold this so you guys don't just get walked on. Like that was a really good grenade usage. Even if you hit 0 damage on that, how did I hit you?
I have no idea.
Even if you hit like no damage on the grenade, it's really good to deny the area. See, as soon as you stop looking main, that like your team gets swung here, you know. When your teammates I didn't hear that Newcastle was rezzing. I assume you heard it or at least knew, to some degree.
Yeah, I did hear him. I did. Again, it not having audio is just weird.
It is definitely, yeah. Yeah, you hear the guy res. Like you just want to be able to or you just want to be able to like hold this area now.
So I should be looking main there rather than the staircase that I agreed. Okay.
You should be looking both. It's not hard to kind of juggle the two. You can kind of look with the like corner of your eye. Like if just like right here because you have the bin right here. Like if you're not peeking an angle or if you're not peeking the angle itself, you want to be blocking yourself off. So like there's this little bin right here to the left. You can use the bin to block yourself from the left angle, and then peek this forward angle, and then when you peek the left angle, you can use this box here to block you from being shot from this side. You know, because if you're not looking, because if you're looking to the left but you're just exposing yourself main, you just set yourself up to just get like aped. You know, like just like full sent. You know. And just because you're not looking for like this 1 second, it's unfortunate. It's kind of like Valorant timing or something like that, you know. Like your team gets sent. Like that was a good thermite on their behalf, but I would have like climbed this box and like looked. You do help your team here. You absolutely you dumpster this guy. Like good shots, absolutely like really good shots. Good thirst too. Your Bloodhound gets knocked again. Freshman. Yeah,
Newcastle eats athlete shots.
Yeah, it's a little hard to actually tell because of no audio, but it's okay. Like, where's the other person swinging coming from? Probably main as well, I'd imagine.
Got him.
And again, you're locking down the area. I don't know where this kid. Oh wait, I think he walked from the back stairs. Yeah, that's too many angles. Oh my god, your Newcastle ate this. And then lost that. Here I think it's kind of greedy to pop a Phoenix, but I think it's okay. I definitely would have just thirsted a guy at this point because a Phoenix takes a lot longer to get off, and thirsting guy lets you stay up in action. Like this guy now pushes you, you dumpster him. Nice, good shots. But that was like a gold like plat team. I would have just thirsted that guy so you have more uptime. The biggest thing to like holding down like being oppressive in fights is that you want to hold down as much space as possible. You know, you want to be as active as possible when you can. You want to be, hey, I'm always watching the angles. I'm always doing things like that, especially in a really high intense situation. You want to be able to like lock down stuff. I don't know if you heard guys there or you were just pinging general vague area about where people
blocked with the Revenant, and I had never mind.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, dropping down here is kind of a throw. I think your team probably gets pushed for this, right? Your team probably gets pushed when you're down here. Yeah, dropping down here is really dangerous. It's just dangerous to not be on the same page with your team. Okay, you get the free third party. Definitely like a lack of mouse control here, but it's. I think like how many hours do you have in Apex?
I'd have to check. Let me see. Game sold. Seems to have 908.
108, and that's your first like PC FPS game, right?
Yeah, I played a bit of Warzone, and a lot of the times actually AFK.
Okay.
Or that's my excuse. That's what.
I mean, hey, you can use that black market to grab medkits, by the way. I don't know. Probably what I would have done, but also there's a medkit right there, so you're fine. Yeah. Literally, the biggest mistake here is just not being you kind of play this like you're with a team.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're just like, all right, let's go down here, but like your teammates are like, there's like an input delay between your teammates actually like your brain, like their brains, you know, like they're both just leaving these boxes. Like you have to make sure that when you when you say something, unless it's really important that you leave right now, it's not necessarily super important that you leave like this instant.
We're in a bad spot.
But it was a good call that you are in a bad spot.
With me,
you are objectively in a bad spot, but taking the zip line down is not the right play. Also, there is a team down here. If you remember from earlier, you would know that there was a team down here from when you dropped, because if you look right here, you can see that there's two teams, and vaguely it's really important to look where they land, but from the way that they're coming in, they're definitely gonna come in from this side of the POI, but especially because one team landed right here because your Bloodhound landed here and got shot trying to to test them, and then the other team landed over here, so you guys have all of the space to play. They take over here, so this kind of becomes limited to more just down here, over here. But if you kept a mental try and keep a mental note of where the teams vaguely are and where they're rotating. So if you see oh, this team's up here, but then you see some other people over here, if you see none of the three people over here, be oh, they rotated this way, and then this team came up here, you know, it's really important. I'll try and keep track of that. Kings Canyon, it gets kind of insane because 5th party, 6th party, 7th party. I got 4th partied in the choke right here from artillery last night, and I actually lost my mind. It tilted me so bad. It was on the edge, zone. The first place zone closed in on was up here, so the zone was all the way past containment, in the river, and we were all the way up here, and we got 4th partied in the middle of the zone. I was so mad.
These canyons are just so small.
It's insane. But yeah, it's really important to try and keep a mental note of where teams are. This call was the call. It was just it was a good call, but bad execution. If you wanted to rotate away, you should have gone basically any other way. You had to figure, because one team was I mean, where you are right now would have been a perfectly good call to do. This call here, or going down here instead, gives you the tunnel choke to go through instead of having to go all the way around this way, or to the balloon, or all the way this way. But also, team was here, you know.
Yeah.
You guys didn't finish this team. You guys killed 2 people from this team, I think. Or
no,
I think you killed... Oh, it was a squad wipe? Okay.
Yeah, I got 3 Ks. I think that action that revealed me was a whole other team from down below.
Yeah, probably, but still. There's still a whole other team here, you know. You want to try and take the safest, especially because of how zone is coming in, you would definitely want to
try to play as a good teammate when I can.
Yeah.
I have heard a weird mix of play with your team and play for yourself. Because a bad play played together is better than you just running off by yourself or them running off by themselves.
There's literally just a balance of just, hey, on one hand you have play for yourself, you, and then on the other hand play for the team. That I think my philosophy is that it's better to play for the team. Because the team in turn benefits you. I mean, if you're not gonna play Department of Energy is calling me. I don't know why, but I'll answer later. The team, it's because the team benefits you and you benefit the team. Obviously, you benefiting the team doesn't do anything for you specifically, but the team benefiting you is because this is important. If you knock 2 people but you die out of the last one, your team can probably mop that last guy up, and if they don't, that sucks. But yeah, it's happened plenty of times. I've been hey, I've killed 2 people. Okay, and we lost the last guy. No way. But it's kind of this self-serving cycle, you know. You help your team out, your team inadvertently helps you out one way or another. Even if they're just meat shields, even if they can barely shoot people, they're still shooting people. It still attracts attention, you know.
Yeah.
You want to try and keep when you helping the team benefits you. I think you should ultimately benefit the team because not for example, not pinging the blue armor there. What is the purpose of that? That's only gonna hurt you in the long run, you know. Because if your team's not kitted, your team can't help you out as much, you know. If you don't ping if if you press tab and you see that your teammate has a sniper or whatever, right? Because you can see the weapons that they have. If you see that they have a sniper, but you don't ping like a sniper scope, that could actually like be the difference between this guy not actually supporting you, you know, in like long range.
Yeah.
Because the guy's running a sniper, you can't change that. That guy's gonna run a sniper, so you have to try and play around that the best way you can, you know. If you and this console teammate are, or if this guy and his console teammate are playing like double G7, you have to play with the idea that they're gonna be opting to support you from longer ranges, you know, like play in their sight lines, things like that.
Okay.
So it's important. It is important to help your teammates as much as possible. You want to be the best teammate as possible. We also want to be the best. I have to stay alive, like mentality ever. You know.
Okay.
Okay. Zone. Okay. So one most important things to do with zone is so as solo queue teammate or as solo queue, it is always your job to make sure that you guys can get to zone. It is always your have fun bearing that responsibility, and if you make a mistake, it's your fault. Smile. Oh, why'd you do that? Oh, why didn't I contribute to the conversation at all? Ah, you know, but like it's your job to make sure you guys have like the smartest rotation possible and the safest rotation possible to the actual zone. So, from here, I would just be thinking about what other possible avenues you can go to, things you can do. So, again, it's mostly your responsibility because you know for a fact that none of these guys are gonna be like, hey, I think we should go through the forest in the zone. Like, no, like none of them are gonna say it at this point. You already know that. You're like, hey, back up. Hey, I'm gonna wait for you, and then it's just cricket noises. Like, you know that you know that they're not gonna say shit. They're just gonna like follow you, or you're gonna have to follow them. It's better for you to set the pace, especially if you're trying to improve and you're trying to do all this stuff. It's better for you to set the pace for the rest of your team, as long as it's not too fast. You know, you have to set a pace, but you have to make sure that they can keep the pace.
Okay.
So the different from this choke right here, the different avenues you can take. You have basically no team mobility. Like Horizon Q doesn't give team mobility; it gives team vertical mobility, but not horizontal mobility, because it just takes you up. Like, it gives you like a little boost at the top, but it's nowhere near like Octane Pad, Valkyl, stuff like that. So your biggest disadvantage is that you can't really like rotate from like an edge to the middle of the zone unless you play super late. So I want you guys to. So what I want to see here from your guys' team comp is to kind of anchor a little bit more like in the zone, you know? Like I want to see you guys play not like Capacitor, maybe like Labs or like this building over here in Cage. It's kind of really it's important that when you don't have mobility to do that. I just drew a face, but it's important to know that you shouldn't just be like, all right, let's go take Capacitor. It's the edge of zone. But like if you guys get caught in Capacitor, you cannot leave. You just cannot leave unless you somehow by a miracle get to walk out this way. You know, but like there's no guarantee that you'll be able to do that. There's no guarantee anything like that. You want to try and play the best way for your team comp. If you had a Valkyrie, Capacitor would have been a-okay. Like basically anywhere on the edge here would have been a-okay. You could have just played here, held here, things like that. But it's really risky to do that when you don't have like team ability, you know?
Okay, so if we have the rotate abilities, we play edge, play rotate, we can play a little bit outside, but if we don't, we have to play the inner ports of the circle and make sure we're in a good spot.
I would never say you have to, because nothing in this game is objectively 100%, but that is generally the game plan. Because sometimes every single building, like if this I had diamond lobbies where there's like 14 teams left, everybody's in a building where everybody's just like on top of each other in buildings, and you're like, well, I'm just gonna go sit on the edge of the zone behind this rock and chill. You know, like I'm just gonna sit here and chill. I can't walk up there. You know, I'm just gonna sit here and wait. You know. Maybe they'll have to leave. Maybe they'll Valkyl out. Maybe they'll do something. But sometimes you just have to wait and sit here. Like what I want you, especially during this downtime. When you have downtime, you're isolated from having to be like, oh, is there a team around us? Is there blah 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 blah? You can sit here and take the time to isolate your rotation. Think about your rotation, about what you're gonna do. You know, you can be like, oh, I have like this 30 seconds where this Newcastle's gonna walk up. Let me think about all the other things I think about. Okay, what would be good for us? Maybe we could use some crafting. Maybe we could go. I mean, I don't think there's things here. Okay, there's literally 0 spots to craft except for right here, and that crafting spot will probably get you killed because it's no man's land right here. I would say like, this is awful. I would never walk here in solo queue ever. It's a death sentence. But there's like nowhere else to craft. Maybe you could be like, oh, we can grab the materials and go craft like here or something. But I wouldn't say Capacitor is a good place to go. I would say if you want to craft, like Cage would be a better place to go. But you're like, oh, do you want to craft? Do we want to go to the middle of the zone? Do we want to like go loot this? Do you want to go loot this? Do you want to go like walk this way? Like you have the time to turn the cogs in your brain and have steam come out of your ears. You know, like you don't have to worry about like, oh, this team's gonna push us, whatever. Like you're completely fine. You have all the time. You have like 45 seconds to sit here and think and like consider what you're gonna do. You know, throughout all this time. So use this downtime more efficiently. I see you're looking at the map to be like, but like try and be more intentional. Think about all the various things you can like kind of ponder. Like for here, for example, what I would do in this situation personally, I don't know where the fuck this guy got a purple armor from, but I'm a little jealous. But your teammates probably don't have like sustained meds for a long time. Crafting is a really good priority here, but like I said, crafting is not really a good thing, but it's just something you would like to try and do. So craft, and then like batteries. If they really want, they can craft like a gun. They can also just like the meds are really good. They can also like just general loot is important. So thinking about where you can possibly go for that loot, like there's a POI here, there's a POI up here, there's these buildings over here that can give some loot. There's just capacitor, which just has a ton of loot in it. You can also do like this building over here, things like that. Like you want to be, oh, let's walk up this way and then go down this way and then go down.
I think that's our actually exact path that we take.
Hey, there you go. See, I think that was the most optimal path for you guys to take, because I think booking it straight into zone will get you guys killed. You guys will, especially because you guys try to play the zone. You guys will be like, oh, we don't have any meds. I got shot with a triple take for 111. Well, time to not have armor. Like it kind of sucks. So you guys just kind of need general resources. Like you need so much that it's hard to be like, I need this. You just need everything. You need ammo. You're a wingman alternator. Like, this isn't bad. Don't get me wrong, but like you're playing ranked, not LGS. In LGS, I'd be like, just go sit in zone. But you're playing ranked. You're gonna get like aped by it. Like good, like as small as it seems, that heavy ammo ping is good.
Do y'all have weapons?
And
I hear gunshots on that enemy ping.
Oh, okay. It's like, just tell it. Oh my god! Someone that knows how to use their horizontal!
Watch a lot of TikToks.
Holy moly!
You can see where I'm thinking about it. When I think about throwing it in the door, I'm like, wait, let me throw it.
Don't throw in the door. Oh my god, you actually, dude. You understand one of the 7 steps about horizontals. I talk about this on stream. I talk about this on stream a lot, but no one knows how to use horizontals at all. No one understands, because people will just throw it on the door, and I'll be like, why? Now you can't shoot them. But like, you literally walk up, go to third party, boom, perfect placement. You throw the nade in the doorway here, like literally, absolutely perfectly played. Like it's gonna suck them in the wall. Probably gonna be a person in the corner. Probably gonna be a person playing like knockdown shield, something like that. Like even with how much information we have, like the Bloodhound scans set you up so well. This is actually a really good thing in team synergy. Especially if these randoms aren't talking very well, but if you had a random that was like communicating with you guys, you'd be like, hey, can you scan real quick? And then if you see 3 people, you're like, oh my god, I'm throwing horizontal. We're just gonna kill these guys, Like watch, like just, yep, plop it down, throw it here.
It's my grenade.
And you can't. Okay, yeah, like literally. And that was just a text, like that was literally like scientific textbook third party. Scientific textbook Horizon gameplay. Like you played that perfectly well. Now, okay, now you have like 5 loot boxes. The loot issue is solved. It's done. There's a red armor in this box, and you guys are like, that tells me enough about these guys' loot. They tell me that you guys are good. You guys are chilling. Okay, so right here, when you have the ability to loot everything, you're like to loot whatever you want at your own leisure. It's really important because one again. Your teammate's tempo is the max tempo you can play at. Like,
okay.
You can try and raise that tempo, and sometimes it works. But if you're like, hey, let's go here, like now, and they're like, and they're just hanging out, they're just like chilling, hands in their pockets. You're like, okay, we can't do that now. Never mind. You can't force a play if it's not gonna happen. Your teammate's tempo is basically the fastest tempo you can play to.
I never feel bad for third party.
So like I know right now that you've looted these 2 boxes. You personally are good to go, except for like no med kits, but like you're good to go now. You're gonna leave. You're gonna head out of zone, but your teammates definitely aren't. Your teammates are gonna sit there and loot those 8 boxes. There's a box here. Oh look, more enticing loot. They're gonna sit there and loot that box too. Oh wow.
You're exactly right. I think he does stop with that loot box in the storm.
I know. Oh, look. But yeah, I would take this time, especially like you replace something in your inventory like right here, right? So I got to see your inventory for a second. Here it is. Boom. Okay. So you are carrying, in my opinion, a lot of ammo, but I would definitely look. So I don't know how the R99 is like an awful weapon. I hate to say it, but it is just an absolutely awful weapon. Yeah. It's so fun to use. Don't get me wrong. But by God, that weapon sucks. It's like C tier. I like, like I think the RE45 is a better weapon than it. It has a faster fire rate and it's easier to control.
I heard you talk about it yesterday.
Yeah, it's like the R99 is just absolutely god awful. I wouldn't pick it up in any circumstance. However, the car, which is everything it wants to be, is an S tier. I think a car is probably like the best gun in the game, just about.
I think if the car was able to get the laser sight, I think it'd be absolutely S tier. I don't know why they cucked it so they can't have the barrel or
They
the
wanted
laser sight, but
they wanted to have a unique weapon identity for it,
Mm.
which is like fine. It doesn't need the laser sight, just ADS, and you're chilling. Like they like you don't need the hip fire at all. Like the weapon time to kill is so fast that like the ADS versus non-ADS duel doesn't matter. You just kill them anyway. But I want you to see, especially because again you're playing Horizon. Horizon's inventory management is a little unique compared to other characters because Horizon has this big old black hole. You need typically 2 to 3 nades to follow up on it properly. One nade can do it very well. Don't get me wrong. Like you can throw Horizon ult and then stick the guy, and then that guy is just dead. But like typically like 2 to 3 nades is the sweet spot.
Okay.
You need to carry a little bit less ammo because that you don't need that ammo in fights. You know, like you have red armor. You don't have a purpose to poking really anymore. You like and I want to establish the difference between poking and holding out an area. Because holding out an area is denying the space from opponents from walking up freely. Because if you don't shoot them when they're walking up, they're just gonna keep walking up to you. You know, but poking is just kind of brainless. They're sitting there, we're sitting here. Pew 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 pew. Level up my armor, but like you don't need to level up your armor. You're on red. You know, there's not really a point to actually do that. But if they're trying to like contest your space, you have to enforce that space using like ammo and shit like that. But if there's not a reason to poke, don't do it. But the reason can be something as small as I want to level up my armor. Like I'm like 200 off. I'm 300 off. Let's go ahead and get that. Let's go ahead and get like a little bit of damage in, and make it a little bit easier to get later. You know, things like that. But as Horizon, that poke ammo, especially for you now, like that, like poking isn't super good because you have red armor, all that stuff. You're just like kind of draining your ammo and meds. Horizon typically needs, in my opinion, less ammo than other characters do because you have this thing. The ammo that you would use from killing one person, or like 1 to 3 people, because you can kill 3 people with your ult, but the ammo that you would need from killing 1 to 3 people is completely mitigated by the fact that you just throw an ult, use grenades in an effective manner, and then you just crack / knock somebody. You know, like you just overall need less ammo, and you can use that for nades instead. Like on Horizon, the best guns you can possibly run on are AR SMG. Some people disagree. Some people say AR shotgun's better, but I think the difference is very minor. But when you're playing Horizon, especially in solo queue, carry less ammo. Try and carry more grenades, because grenades can be used outside of your ult as well. Ammo can't be used outside of shooting. You know, like if someone's pushing you guys and then you throw a thermite in the choke, they can't walk up anymore. Well, they can, but you know they trade damage, and it's really.
And would you say the AR SMG combo is good? Is ideal on Wraith as well?
The AR Wraith benefits a lot from having off-angle weapons and things like that. I think as Wraith you can get away with running a little bit more of a flexible loadout. The only reason I say AR SMG is really good on Horizon is because of her lift. You can like you can throw your lift R301 in the air, float around, one clip a guy on the lift, or at least like get off angles, trade damage, things like that. Like any other gun on her, like you don't run a sniper on Horizon because using a sniper in her lift is miserable. It's so hard. But an AR like the R301 is really good because it's really easy to readjust. It's just a slight pull down because of the scope size. And the zoom in helps a lot with controlling recoil, everything like that. And I say SMG over shotgun because SMGs have a longer range that you can use them from effectively. And since you're like lifting in the air and stuff like that, you typically want like that longer range. But you can use shotguns for really close engagements. Wraith has a lot more flexibility to run whatever you want to run. It just depends on your playstyle. If you want to play really aggressively, use your phase to back out, like you phase up to the door, play the door, shoot them, go back, whatever, you know, and then you like phase back, whatever. Like you can do that with probably like AR, shotgun, SMG shotgun, things like that. It just depends on what you want to do in terms of playstyle. What is your overall goal? Like each weapon has its own unique like identity. And you want to play around that identity, or based around like your playstyle. And there's no objectively right playstyle. You can play however you want. It's just there's typically characters favor certain playstyles. Wraith is a lot more flexible in what she can do than Horizon, but Horizon does the things better typically. Which is why people ask me if Wraith is still a good legend, and she's just like okay at everything. Wraith is okay at everything. Because you look at what Wraith does, portals are for rotation, Valkyrie does it better, Octane does it better. The only thing that's good about Wraith portals is the invulnerability. What else is And it's like, Wraith is really good at being an off-angler. Well, Valkyrie can do the exact same thing. Horizon can do the exact same thing, basically. The only thing that Wraith has is that she's invulnerable, so she can be mildly more aggressive. But Horizon can still off-angle using her lift, you know? I don't know if you've ever played against, like, a really good Horizon who's, like you're walking up, you get cracked for 150, so you play behind a rock. And then, when they're behind that rock, or whatever, they, like, Horizon Q and then shoot down on you, you know?
And you
Like,
get absolutely shit on. Yep.
yeah, but like a Wraith couldn't do that. A Horizon can do that, you know, really well. So right here, it's really important just inventory management. I think you carry less ammo, you carry more, carry more nades. You also don't have medkits now. It's really important to establish what you need, and like when you have the leisure to. Right here, you don't have any medkits. You're carrying too much ammo. It's just good to kind of get a good establishment of what you need, rather than just look at boxes and be like, ooh, things, you know. It's an important conscientious decision to be like, I need this, and then you can look for that really easily. So at this point in the game, it's really important to also establish and make sure that you look at the teams left and how many teams there are left. So there's 15. 15 times 3 is like elementary school math, but 15, you know, 15, there's only 13 people left, means that there's 2 people missing. So there's either 1 rat or 2 duos. And it's important to factor that in, because you see one guy, you're like, oh, it's the rat, but then it's like, oh my god, this is a full team, or oh my god, this is a duo, you know, and like you full send that guy, die to that. It's really important to establish how many teams there are and how many people are left on each team, because it can be really important later. Because if you establish that there's a rat, and then you're in final zone and it's 4 and then question mark, you're like, oh, there's more than just a rat now, because you knew that there was a rat earlier. Now it's like, oh my god, so there's a team of 3, which is 6, and then it's like rat, or it's like duo, then rat, then that's 9. And I don't know if you know this, but the question mark shows up when there's less than 10 people.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So if you're like, wait, there's 4 and 9, or 4 and something, you know, less than 10, it's like this math adds up to something like this at least, you know. It could also
mathin'.
Exactly. It could also be like 3, 2, 2, 2, right? Like this is 5, 7, 9. Yeah, like it could also be something like this. It's important to think about, because if you're the only full team left, it's just a free win. It should be a free win. If it's not a free win, I hate to say it, but skill issue, you know, like actual skill issue. Like how did you guys mess up that badly, you know? There's 5 teams left, right? You are team 1. This is team 2. This is team 3. Where is team 4 and 5, right? If you open your map, probably over here. Like, that's probably a safe bet.
You're absolutely right.
So now you think about, hey, if you were like, oh, let's go like poke at these guys, and then you sit here, you know what's gonna happen to you?
I'm gonna get fucked in the butt.
Oh look, oh wow, who could have expected that? You know, it's like the amount, like especially when the game gets like in the later zones and there's just overall less people, you know. It's like, oh, it's obviously like the whole, oh my god, 3 squads left, and then you see like things in the kill feed. You're like, oh my god, we should go third party that. It's kind of the same premise, but on a bigger scale, on a more global scale, you know. Because if you can identify where every team is, you now have the utmost advantage of knowing how you should play, where it's safe to play, what you can play, you know. And especially like if zone closed like around this choke here, and you know that every team, like if it's like team here, or if it's like, sorry, if it's like 1 team here, 1 team here, 1 team here, 1 team here. All right, now all of this is safe, you know, like you now understand that everything, because there's literally no, like, impossible that a team would be here unless this team rotates, which is like you weren't paying attention, things like that. There's probably gonna be a team here, I'd imagine.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, because like I said earlier, team here.
Yeah, team 4 or 5.
Team 4 or 5. Here they are. So
He's 1 shot.
Very good here.
No, sub 50.
Do you know why this is good? Do you know why what you're doing is good? So essentially, when you're battling a team, there's 3 areas of control. There is well, I guess there's technically 4, but we'll do 3 different types of areas of control. There is I control this space, which is each team has like their like home base, you know, like each team is controlling this space. There is the well actually no, there's 3. 3 is a better example. So teams own this, right? Like team own this. If you are playing a character and you walk in here, you're dead. You're walking to 3 people and dying, you know. And then there is this contested space, you know. Like there's this space that's like, hey, you can get shot here, but like, wait, let me write C. Like you can get shot here, but overall you're like pretty good, you know. Like you can trade damage, you're like perfectly fine, you know. It's whatever. You can get pushed here if you are like you can get shot here, but like you're probably fine. And then there's also the ultra. Oh my god, this is like the ultra like war zone, you know, like if you're playing here and then you walk like up here, you're probably gonna die because you're just like out in the open, things like that, you know. Basically, what you're doing here is you don't have cover really. You're kind of in this zone. Your team doesn't really control much space because you've just entered the POI. You don't know what's in the POI. You don't know where they're playing, things like that. You crack this guy, which gives you an opportunity to enter this zone. And now your team has effectively pushed up and taken all of this.
That's actually a wonderful concept. I've never heard it explained like that. That's really interesting to hear like that.
So now if you look at it like this, from this angle, wow, your team has just pushed the team off of all of this space. Your team now owns all of this space now. And now the team has to walk this way.
Okay. Yeah.
And now like this is why this is really good. You take damage on the guy. The guy can't contest the space anymore, and now you take it. That is one of the biggest things that sets Pred teams apart from every other team. Watch
the space control.
Yes, absolutely. I will watch teams play. I'll watch like Diamond players play in Pred lobbies, and Diamond players will be like, "All right, this is me. I am the three little piggies in my building. We've made this out of brick. Nothing can touch us." And then the Pred team is a literal bulldozer coming in, being like, "Hey, what's up? Let me destroy your house." You know, they just walk up, just tear it down, because they aren't enforcing the space. If you want to enforce the space, you have to stop them from actually enabling and walking up here. You know, you can't let them just be like, "Hey, what's up? We're at your door."
You want to prevent them from even getting towards the door.
Yeah, you want it because now, if you think about it, the only space you control is inside. But if they open the door, this is now contested space. You have no safe place to play anymore. You know, you no longer have anything you can actually do. You know.
That's really interesting. I don't know how Watson Caustic teams thrive then, and I guess they don't. Honestly, in the meta, it seems to be more and more Horizon Seer rather than Caustic Watson, and I guess that is more interesting, I guess, to play.
It is mildly map dependent because characters like Caustic and Watson are really good at locking down this area. So if they open the door, this is still controlled space. With Watson, it's a little different, but the proper way to play those characters is not to only take space like this. Like, obviously, they go in a building, boom, building's taken. But it's also really good to play aggressive and take more space. So, for example, we'll use this Pred team reference again. One Pred player is feeling cocky. They walk up to this building and go, "Hey, what's up? What's knocking?" Caustic team is like, "Holy shit, this guy's alone. Take this space. Caustic ult on him. Kill him. Dead." That's how you properly play characters like that. That's how you properly play characters like Watson. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the whole Watson places the node trick where they go, bzzz, you know, some guy on the door. This is baiting people into controlling more space. You give the illusion that the space looks like this. You give the illusion that the space is like this, when realistically it's like this. So you actually, and then you bait them, and then boom, they're now in your controls. They're in your zone of control. You've set up traps. This is why Watson has to be played a lot more preemptively than a character like Caustic does, because Caustic can just throw down a trap and boom, you trigger the trap. There's gas now. Caustic ults, boom, there's gas now. But with Watson, you have to be a lot more meticulous with how you set up like traps. More like fences to step area denial. Like if you watch like ALGS Watsons, they don't just go, building, fences in my building. They go, "Hey, I'm out in the middle of the field, fence here, fence here, fence here, fence here, fence here, fence here, connect all the fences. Now you're in like a hellscape spawn, like you can't, like you literally can't enter the space without going, all right, I'm pushing. Oh wait, hang on. I gotta break this node. All right, pushing. Oh wait, hang on. I gotta break this node. Oh wait, hang on. I gotta hang on. And yeah, you know, like it's just they can't just walk up for you like onto you for free, you know.
Yeah.
You have to if you're playing a the defensive legends are kind of deceptive because of the name. You have to play aggressive with defensive legends for them to be good, which is why like a lot of teams this is why the whole like Diamond 4 players that don't know how to like actually sit in a building and play it are like bad. They die. They collapse the Pred teams eventually, you know. Because they just sit there and go, "Oh my god, they're poking, just like hold, and then they're like, "Oh, I throw another barrel down. I throw another barrel down. I throw another barrel down." And it's like, okay, you're gonna run out of barrels eventually. Now what do you do? Now, what do you do when you let like 100 Thieves like Vaxilon like fly in the window like this, and then and then like just you're sitting here like a little like nerd, just like crayons, and then he's just like one clip you while you're crouching in the bathroom for some reason, you know, like what do you do? Die?
Yeah, because you can't take it. You can't contest any of the space that he's going for. He's one shot.
Exactly. You see someone alone, something like that, you can actually contest the space and like actually push them. Okay, that guy's on height. Good drop down. I wouldn't really pop a cell here, but it's fine. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
It's just confidence with feeling aggressive, you know. The R9 as a dog shit gun. If you had a 301, you probably trade damage there. Yeah. If you spend more time to actually like loot and like get better guns and things like that, like the Wingman's a great gun. Don't get me wrong, but like the R9 is the R9 is just kind of awful. It doesn't have range. It's like its DPS is poor.
Yeah.
Like, you push the space here, which is like fine, but your teammate, like, you effectively trade like 0 damage in this fight. Like your teammate does nothing. Like, but like I said at the very beginning of the session, doesn't matter. We don't care. We're not looking at that. We're not looking at how your We're not looking at how your teammates do nothing. We're looking at all the things you could have potentially done better. So imagine when you're looting the compound over here, like when you third party through your really good horizon ult. Imagine you're back there, you loot like like a car, you loot like a shotgun or something like that. You go push this guy in height. Now you're actively challenging this guy. Now now your teammate over here is fighting 2 people instead of 3, which doesn't sound much better. But it is like your teammate can live for a little bit longer, maybe trade a knock. But in a 1v3, your teammate's never trading a knock almost. Unless they're like crazy, you know? Like if you're contesting this guy right here, your teammate's in a better position to actually like maybe do something, especially because they're a duo. If they're actually like set up to actually like do something together, which they probably will try and do everything together, you know? Like this fight becomes a lot more reasonable to take if you fight this one and kill this guy. And you fight that one and don't kill that guy, you suck. You need to improve. Fight more ones, become more comfortable fighting more ones, figure out why you lost that one, things like that, you know?
Okay.
Like this was a failure in playing around your guns really well. Like you have Wingman, you need to shoot from long range with Wingman. This gun can only be used in close range. Only use that gun in close range. You can't really use it at medium ranges, things like that.
Okay.
Like never blame. Like obviously it will be your teammate's fault that you lose games, but don't actively be like, if that Bloodhound didn't like do that, I would have gained more RP. It's like, well, what else? What else could you have done? But also don't treat it like, like I could have always done better there, because sometimes it will just be your teammate's fault you lose RP, you know? Like it just will be. But don't be too hard on yourself. Just go next. Just always go next. Insane turnaround. I love to see that. I love to see this turnaround. You shown that guy? You shown that guy? Spit on. Actually spat on. Shit on. Like dumpstered.
Here for knowledge.
Really, really good turnaround.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like you have the cover of the corner that doesn't actually expect you to turn around to come. Like he can't see you. He doesn't know what you're doing. He assumes you're running away. That's the last thing he saw you do. So you surprise him. You catch him off guard. You go, hey, I'm actually contesting you now, and you have the like. Even if you missed like some of these shots, even if you missed some of these shots, like I mean you did obviously, but if you missed more of these shots, like say you only like 100 on him, you still have an initial free 100 damage that he's like, oh my god, there's a guy here, he's shooting me. Like what do I do, you know? And then you absolutely dumpster him with really, really good mechanics.
Thank you.
The Horizon. Nice, dude. Like you play this so well. Oh, you're gonna hit by your arc frame. Oh no.
I was able to dodge it.
You did. But, I would bat before boking you. You have to play a kind of reserved. You have to play a little reserved here, but it's okay. And not a big deal. You actually like did so well. Here, wait, hang on 1 second. Manu and Maddie, thank you for the resubs. I appreciate it. Here for knowledge. Dude, we got knowledge dripping knowledge. And Maddie, I'm doing pretty good. I'm chilling, big chilling. We got lots of odds to go through today. Thank you both again for the resubs. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. So, but like this turnaround was insanely good. You might be able to thirst these guys, get KP. I do like how you're going for the thirst, but it also is a little dangerous to do. You have to play it because if this guy trades damage on you, he can push you really easy. Just some failure in like strafe clicking, which is okay. I need
to work on my wingman shots and my tracking overall.
Some small tips. I won't go too in depth on it because I think it's not necessarily you need to focus on a ton. But the biggest reason why wingman shots are really hard to do is because when you're ADSing, your speed is higher than with every other gun because you keep the exact same speed you do hip firing as you do ADSing. So the strafe speed, because if you strafe to the left, your crosshair moves left as well. You know. And so that adjustment time is unique to the wingman. It's basically unique to the wingman. So when you strafe to the left, you have to move your mouse to the right more to stay centered on screen, you know? And a lot of people aren't adjusted to that. And that's exactly why you miss this here. Like, if we break this down a little bit more. Like, you're strafing to the right and left, you're also moving your crosshair to adjust to the target in that same direction. When you should be keeping your crosshair still or counteracting the direction you're going.
Okay.
That's basically the biggest thing about the wingman.
Do you think I do hear the res at that mark, at that point right there?
That would make sense. Like, your mechanics are, like, you have an R9 beating these guys. Like, your mechanics are really good. And you kill them, perfect. You got the KP. You turned around that fight individually through the heart. You did nothing at the beginning of the fight. Turned around, dominated the fight. You did really, really good there. It's just trying to be having more uptime. Imagine if you did all of that a little bit earlier. Imagine if you did that a little bit earlier when your teammate was sending it out in the open. You know, like imagine you go on that guy, you do that turnaround, or you like beam that guy the same way you beam that Watson with a 9-9. You know, imagine you did that, and now your teammate's not dead. It's just trying.
I think I should have switched to R301 there too.
Oh my god, you should have switched to R301 back in the compound. Definitely.
Immediately just timed out, my fault, buddy.
It's this guy timing out is like.
Timing that shit as quick as possible.
You can't res him anyway. But.
We are top 3. I think we go around like with the original plan.
Top 3, pretty good. Like you have 6 KP, 3rd place. Like this is a good game. This is a
I
good game.
had no audio on that guy when he pulled up on me. This Ash.
Welcome to Apex.
There we go.
Fucking perfect. Good job. Good job. As soon as I like kill this guy for like however much I did here, I'm not peeking again. I'm letting my teammate take care of it.
There we go. Fucking beautiful.
Like you did. Like I don't know if it was intentional or not, but you didn't. You went to go swing him at the end there, which was like fine. But like right here, I'm waiting for my teammate. I see he's like on the left here. I'm like, okay, never mind. Have fun. And then like and then like after, because trading like 100, because if you both get cracked versus when you guys getting knocked, like what's better? Both you guys getting cracked, obviously, you know. Like you pop a bat, he armor swaps, boom, you're good to go again, like in like 3 seconds.
There we go. Fucking beautiful. Thank good follow.
I think the last team's on the other side of the wall though.
Yeah, if they haven't 30'd you, absolutely. And now you guys have to rotate this way. You're probably gonna lose this.
We do.
It's just understanding that you might have lost the game, but you won in terms of like the goal. You know, because you remember what I said at the very beginning of the session about your goal?
Gotta be more specific.
This number go up. Number go up. This number go up. What is number doing here? Going up by 200. Big gain. That's a really good game. Keep cranking out games like this in Diamond, and like if you do this in Diamond, that's good, amazing, awesome, well done. You know, a 200 game is winning in solo queue. You can't. It's very hard to win games in solo queue. So and like in the battle royale, winning is a lot harder than just like, hey, I'm first place. Like if you get like 18 kills in 2nd place, I think you won the game. You absolutely deserve to win the game, but you know, especially in ranked. Again, the goal is to make your number go up. The goal isn't to win the game. Winning the game is nice. It makes number go up the most. Playing around a DG threat perfectly here. Does that make sense? Your goal isn't necessarily so cohesive as like go to Masters, but it's important that in the goal of getting to Masters, I want you to, because like I said, Diamond down here, Masters is up here.
Yeah.
It's the biggest gap you're ever gonna hit, and this skill gap is insane. So we're going to systematically break it down to step by step by step by step by step, so you can actually climb this ladder. You know, like you can't climb a ladder without rungs, and we're gonna work on each rung.
Okay.
So
and
the first rung.
Okay, go ahead, please.
First, you want experience. Okay. You just want raw experience for this first rung, because once you have experience, you'll experience fighting against better players, stronger players, things like that. Next, we're going to work on your individual mechanics. Building from experience, like each rung builds off the previous one. You want raw experience so we can figure out what you're doing wrong, figure out how your opponents are beating you, how you're beating opponents. Then we're going to build your mechanics. Then we're going to build your, for lack of better words, general game sense. I chose the worst color for this because of the zones right here. We're going to work on your general game sense. I put it in quotes because game sense is kind of like a fancy made up term that doesn't really mean much. We're going to work on game sense, and then these last 2 sessions, we kind of like tying things together and like ironing out everything else, like some minor things you might still be doing, more like ranked specific solo queue stuff, how to like hold like buildings down, like positioning, damage, like uptime, things like that. This is gonna be a lot more like the looser kind of like tinier concepts that all kind of bring a cohesive player together, you know, things like that. But the first thing, it's a rather wide goal, but it's the most important in my opinion. Is you just want experience. I'm not gonna coach a plat player how to play in pred lobbies without experience playing in pred lobbies. You know, and to get into pred lobbies, you have to get into master lobbies, and you have to get like blah 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 all that. So just get some raw experience, work on the individual things I told you about, because those will tie into the top rung of the ladder, and they will tie like it'll help build like everything else kind of, you know, because like I said, these like your mechanics probably just need like a minor amount of refinement. You probably just need to like improve this like a little bit. Experience, you need more than anything else. You need this more than anything else. Game sense, your game sense is like okay. There's a lot we can improve on it. And there's a lot we will improve on it in the future. But game sense in diamond lobbies versus plat lobbies are two very different beasts. Plat lobbies are everybody's kind of just doing something. It might not be the right thing, but they're certainly doing something. Diamond lobbies, there's a lot more cohesion behind what people are doing. People typically make a little bit smarter decisions, and they're typically a lot more aggressive. Okay. So we're gonna learn like how to counteract aggression, how to do things like that, you know. Okay. And yeah. Do you have any questions for me?